The Gourmet Gladiator. Chapter 31 Therapy. So is this the bit where you delve into my mind to tell me how much I know about how big of a pig that I am inside? Or is this the part where I tell you the police therapist to just listen and you pretend to do so? I ask as I sit up on my bed. I look over at the corner of my room. She was there. And she was pissed. You are an evil piece of shit. I made a call to get you back to your family. She says the same spill that she has been saying for a year now. Indirectly and inevitably you also caused the death of those that you tried returning me to. Now my mom and dad are permanently looking down at me and at me. I say with my smile fading. They look down on you because you don't have a spine to turn everything away and build your future. They look down on me because they could never be as powerful as I am now. And within a year I will see Roxy and be the top chef. You can't beat her. The top chef is more powerful and heartless than even you. And that's coming from a person that is chained to your room. Well, either way I see that you're not going to provide anything useful. And besides, I don't see how you are much better than me. After all, it's been a year and not a single missing person report or even police doubling their patrols have been issued. Invisible to the world is what made me a good therapist to those who couldn't see themselves. I couldn't see it, but I knew she curled up in a ball after saying those words. I stand up and walk towards the corner of my room. I would let you go, but Helios and the others would kill you and try to kill me. And if you had one connection with the police, then there should be others. Plus you know a little too much about me. It would be sheer embarrassment if you got away. I reach out and grab the invisible chains. She jerks her arms away from my hand, pulling on the chain. At least she was there. I pulled the chain, her body thudding as her body got closer to mine. I reach out with my other hand and I feel my fingers coiling around her neck. Her heartbeat and breathing all pulsing through my palm. What are you doing? She asks as her power rushes through me. My hand that was around her throat began to disappear as she became more visible to my eyes. As I became more invisible, she became more apparent. She was wearing green shorts with a yellow t-shirt. Her skin was tan and smooth. Now her face was something that I couldn't believe at first sight. She was cute. Freckles and short red hair. Too bad she was way too old for my taste. But this power, even though it was cool, was utterly pointless. I wanted to see the person that I have been talking to all this time. And plus I wonder how powerful this ability can be if I boost it to the next level. I state. But this power wasn't like any other. Usually with a power that I get, it pulses through my body, and when I can boost it, the power kinda pulses faster than it did previously. But this power is stagnant. It pulses but in one spot and doest move. This is the first time seeing my skin. Tears began to build up in her eyes. I don't know if it was because of sadness or sheer happiness that tears began to run down her face. I let go of her throat and my skin receded back to normal as hers stayed the same. This causes me and her to raise an eyebrow in questions. You just cured me, she shouts out in joy. I walk out of my room and look around. Keela was walking down the hallway as both Rick and Kevin walked towards their room. I walk towards the three of them. My box is ready and urging me to destroy them. Fiacla and I wanted to destroy something. Anything that got within eyesight. I looked at them and saw their body parts flying everywhere. Rick and Kevin stepped to the side of the hallway to make room for me as I pass them. Keela looks at me and smiles. I only frown at her and open up the front doors. Randall, the angel, and the smoke guy were all standing beside one another with smiles on their faces. I knew that you would be here, Randall shouts. He steps forward. And you and all of your friends shall feel the might of the three heroes. Randall, Angel, and Smoker. Wow. I could have guessed all of those names. Those are poor names to give yourselves. Listen, if you all want to fight, then you got it. I shout as I run back into the hotel. Keela, Kevin, and Rick were all standing with weapons. Rick held a pistol while people like Kevin and Keela wielded spears. Who's attacking us? Kevin asks. I walk up to him and place my hand on his shoulder. Some people that want to take us down. A group of chefs that have something to prove. I state as I touch Keela's shoulder. Both are now running through me. I turn towards the door, waiting for those three to come crashing through. I throw down my box and a quick fiacla. I grow into my beast-like state with my skin pitch black and my fin and tail outright and strong. My skin hardens and molds over my joints. Lightning sparks around my arms in random order. I was ready to take on an army now. Other collections. About US. Inkit is the world's first reader-powered publisher, providing a platform to discover hidden talents and turn them into The Gourmet Gladiator. Chapter 32 Chefs vs. Crooks. Bam. Shards of wood fly across the room as the front doors explode. Angel blasted it open with his spear. Smoker runs in and jumps into the air. I launch a lightning bolt towards Smoker. The bolt of lightning goes through him and explodes a hole in the roof. Randall swings his nail blades down at me. I raise my left arm and block his attack. I then swing Fiacla at Randall. He manages to jump over the blade and strike out at me with his hair. Luckily for me, as his hair struck my face, my skin hardened more and was able to take the shock from the blow. I then launch a lightning bolt into Randall's chest, blasting him away from me. Smoker launches a ball of smoke and flames at the ground. All will be purged, Smoker yells out as he lands on the floor. The ball of smoke and flames roars out as it crashes into Kevin, making him fly back into the wall, crashing into Rick's room. Angel flies up to me and swings his spear at me. I raise my arm and deflect his attack. I swing my blade at him, only for sparks to fly as he blocks Fiacla with his spear. The two weapons grind against one another as I push downwards with all my strength. Angel struggles to push me off of him, but fails to push me off. Randall jumps on top of my back and swings his nail blades down on my back, to only manage to do nothing to my skin. Angel looks at me with defeat in his eyes. His muscles look as if they are about to burst as he pushes back against me with all his will. Keeler blasts Randall off of me. He tumbles and rolls just in front of me. He stands up and growls at me. Smoker walks towards me. Rick fires off his gun, but bullets just pass through him. He was not affected by any attack. Angel shouts in my face as his wings flutter and shrink behind his back. His armor darkens as black helmet goes over his head and covers his face. His spear turns into a black scythe. He begins to push himself up, straightening his posture. I push back with all my might, grinding my teeth, and my muscles bursting with power. A black swirling portal appears next to me. Smoker jumps over the portal and launches a ball of smoke and flames towards me. I roar as I reach out and grab Angel by his throat. As Angel manages to push me away from him and Smoker's ball of smoke crashes into me, power rushes through me. I slid across the floor but managed to stop myself before hitting the wall. Fiacla began to glow as darkness crawled over me. Fiacla grew bigger, falling to pieces on the floor. Chains form out the tip of my hand, connecting each piece of Fiacla by chain. It was like a blade and a whip at the same time. My strength felt as if it had doubled. Horns emerge from my head as my face breaks and transforms into a dog-like snout. I growl in anger as I look at the others. Kevin and Keeler look at one another before dropping their spears and running back down the hallway. Rick shot his pistol a couple of times before following Kevin and Keeler. Angel looks at me and points his scythe at me. "Oh, so you like my demon powers? Just like you to take those instead," Angel declares. "I think we should leave," Smoker says with that common scared tone that I've heard many times before. I think I know why we couldn't hurt him before. I am now excited. I sprint towards them, cracking the floorboards with my steps. Smoker begins to run away as Angel and Randall stand the ground. I push this demon power towards the next limit. Wings of metal sprout out of my back. I flap them and fly towards Smoker. Angel jumps up and swings his scythe down at me. Clink. His scythe bounces off of me. I swing my Fiacla at Smoker. The blade whip lashes out and strikes into the back of Smoker, splashing the ground in blood. Smoker and facial thud against the ground. I land on my feet just a yard or two away from Smoker. Randall shouts as he jumps in the air and swings his blades down at me. I growl before I snap my jaws at him. His blades went into my mouth 1 second and me spitting him out the next. His hair bashes against my skull, but I push forward, not acknowledging the blow. I swing my blade as Randall's torso. Randall smiles widely as he twists his body over my blade and brings his leg around to the side of my head. His kick nudged my head a little, but nothing that I would say hurt. I let out a roar as I ran at him, swinging my blade furiously. My movements are slowing down and becoming more beastly. Randall keeps jumping backwards, evading me. He knew he was dead if he stopped. And he knew that I would tire out soon. Smart bastard. I launch a lightning bolt at him. He jumps over the bolt. At that moment I had him. I swing my blade, the links whipping around and snapping as it struck Randall. He flies through the wall, leaving a huge hole in the side of the building. Angel was over Smoker, heaving his body out. I roar before charging at them. Angel lifts up his scythe and a black swirling portal begins to suck them away. I swung my blade at them, but just as Fiacla was about to devour the both of them, they escaped. Now Randall was my sole focus. I recede back to normal as I walked towards the hole in the side of the building. Looking out of the hole, I saw Randall laying a nice pool of his own blood. His hair stitched up his wound from the attack. And from this point he was barely hanging on to his own life. A part of me wants to end his life. It would be easy too. No one would mind and I could get away with it easily. Plus he pissed me off before. But there was something screaming in my head not to. What is it that I shall do? The Gourmet Gladiator. Chapter 33 Decisions. I couldn't put myself up to do it. Randall stares up at me and manages to put a painful smile on his face.
I put Fiacla back in his box and leaned down beside Randall.
You didn't kill me, Randall states in a cheery wheeze of a tone. I seriously thought you were pure evil. Maybe the world has a little hope for it after all. I place my hand on his chest. This is the kid I went to school with. Before this whole power thing became an obsession, food was what we both always talked about. It was just two weird kids, elementary and middle school. But that all changed, didn't Randall? High school changed us both. Then another change happened to our mindsets upon getting our powers.
I think I'm done with this kind of life.
Sure, I want to be top chef, and this whole online school thing is harder than I thought it would be. Tears begin to build up in my eyes. My voice was soft and sad. Maybe if we get back to boom. My eyes shake at the sight that had just befallen me. Blood splatters on my face and the heart beats through Randall's chest no longer. A bullet hole in the middle of Randall's head became more apparent. I turn and look at Helios holding his gun up and aimed at me. Randall was dead. And Helios took him away from me. I let out a roar as my nails twist and coil around my body. At the tip of my fingers, blades emerge. My skin hardens and whirls around my joints. I sprint towards Helios. He smiles as he pulls out the power-enhancing gold liquid. Helios opens the cap. Sorry bud, but business is business. He drinks the golden liquid just as I get up in his personal space. As I swing my blades at him, his skin becomes huge boulders of solid ice. I cleave into the thick of it before pushing myself off of his bulky body. He was now an ice giant standing a whole 10 feet. Ice for skin, and the worst of it was that now my muscles were beginning to restrain. I've dealt with this feeling before. Don't forget your little friend Roxy, he says, his voice deeper. I don't think she would like to live on knowing that her life was put over others. For this you will be put to the broken sword, I state with my teeth showing in anger. My growl is beastly as my hair floats above my head. I ran towards Helios with my eyes focused on his head. You're a fool. A child that plays with his emotions still. I thought being under me for a year would change your mind. But I guess I have to let my secrets out of the bag. Helios states with a big grin on his face. His ice body creaks as he reels back his fist. Roxy died the same day that I took your parents' lives. My heart thuds and pain went rushing through my body. How? I ask in confusion. Helios strikes out with his fist and strikes me in my chest. I let out a gasp as the air got knocked out of me. Because we knew you and her would be a problem. Her being as dangerous as she was, and you if she was put in prison. Both of you would be out in a week if that was the case. So I had my men crash into them too and simply put an end to their lives. Helios states with a merry tone, curling his fist and raising it up to his face. Ah, I shout as I run towards him, swinging my arms and pounding my feet against the floor. Kevin runs out in front of me and strikes out with his fist. I duck under him and continue my charge. Keeler runs to Helios's side and launches a blast of electricity towards me. I twisted my body to the left and saw the bolt of lightning traveling past my chest. I'll kill you all. I stomp my feet on the ground and whip my hair towards Helios, wrapping my hair around his neck. He grabs my hair and with a quick whip I slam his neck on the ground. Rick runs up to me and pulls out a pistol. I swing my claws at him, slashing his belly up. He groans in pain as he takes a step back. Keeler blasts me in my side with a bolt of lightning, but my skin was hard enough to absorb the shock. As Helios tries to stand up, I slam on my hair, slamming Helios's head back on the ground. I ran towards him, my heart racing and my teeth grinding against one another. My breathing is fast-paced and angry with growls. Kevin jumps onto my back trying to slow me down, but my entire skin and joints are free to move how they want. And right now every joint in my body is telling me to tear Helios apart. I reach over my back with my left hand and throw him off of me. Keeler and Rick blast off with their powers. Rick finally shows his power. He blasts off a fireball and runs as his hand begins to burn. A power that hurts himself. Weakling, I will continue running, my back lowering and my arms reaching out in front of me, as if clawing through the air will make me go faster. Both Keeler's and Rick's attacks go over me as I jump up and plunge my blades towards Helios's head. Helios rolls over to his back just in time to see me plunge my blades into his blocky chest. He looks at me and his body creaks as he tries to stand up. My hair pushed on his throat, pinning him on his back as he tries to pull my hair off of his neck. Get off of him, Keeler shouts as she blasts me in the side with a bolt. But it was nothing. Get off of him, a voice calmly states. I turned to my left and Roxy was sitting on the floor right next to Helios's arm. Tears run down my eyes as I push harder with my claws. Roxy stands up and walks towards me. Helios throws an ice ball at me. I allow it to shatter off of my body as I push my claws just an inch deeper into his chest. Roxy leans her cute little frame on me. You don't have to be the villain. Be a chef. I looked down at her and she was looking at me with a courageous smile. What would you know? I'm just a loser. TAHT saved you once from suicide, I state with those words tearing me apart. Tears running down as fast as Kevin and Keeler strike me with their blows. But you saved me. And you stopped Lucas, a man that was backstabbing me this entire time, and built a homeless shelter for something so little. You're a good guy at heart. Maybe a tad bit lost on the way there, but still you're a good guy, Roxy says, placing her hand on my shoulder. Kevin's fist passing through her face and striking mine. You're dead, I cried out as I struck Kevin's neck with my fist, knocking him on the floor gasping for air. And I'm a failure. I take my claws out of Helios's chest and swing them at his right arm. Helios twists his body, knocking me over onto my back. My nails and hair begin to recede. Randall's power is already giving up. You are not a failure. Just broken. And you can be repaired. Just give this up and go back to your path of being top chef. Go into the newly built Academy for Chefs, Roxy says encouragingly. I haven't heard of the Culinary Coliseum in a long time. I might just go there, I say with a smile on my face. My work is weak as the cold gets to me. You wouldn't last there for 5 minutes. Besides, you're dead, Helios states as he strikes my head into the ground. But my skin is thick and hardened. There is no way that he can hurt me. And now his power was running through me. I could combine the two powers and see what comes out of it. But that wouldn't be enough to handle all 4 of them. I think I have to escape. Other collections. About US. Inkit is the world's first reader-powered publisher, providing a platform to...
That was chapters 31 through 33 on the Gourmet Gladiator. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ayo. You can also check out the story on Inkit. Have a good one. Bye.